Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the JimFear Podcast. I am your host, JimFear138, and it has been hell this past couple of weeks, guys. Like, I might have told y'all this in a previous episode, so I'll keep it brief. But one of the people at my day job quit a couple of weeks back, and because the company that I work for is built on two things, bad decisions is one, and incompetent management is the other, okay? We did not get another person until the 2 weeks notice for the person who quit ran out. Awesome, right? Fucking great. So this person comes in. The person who was supposed to train them is not there. The thing that pisses me off, though, is that they had ample fucking opportunity. There were 3 people who applied for that fucking job. And one of them was actually a decent prospect. And could have been hired in the time that, you know, they would have had that 2-week window there to train before the other person left. But no. Because of this staggering fucking level of incompetence, I and the other girl who are left there have to work 2 weeks, 6 days a week, with only Sunday off. So, that's been fucking awesome. I just barely got that fucking audiobook in by the deadline because of this shit. But there is good news, and hopefully next week will be better, so that I'll actually, you know, be at my brightest when I come here for the podcast. I've been doing okay with the narrations, and sorry about that. I've been doing okay with the narrations and everything. Honestly, the last one that I put up is the Annie 96's typing. Go listen to that, seriously. I think that's the best narration that I've ever done, guys. I'm stupidly proud of that one. That's like the height of my craft right there, so far as I'm concerned. I'm really happy with the way the voice acting came out. I'm really happy with the editing, the sound effects, you know, the levels. It didn't even need music, I don't think. Like, I could have put music in the background, but I think it was more unsettling without the music. You know, it just kind of, like, I was putting it together, right? And I was cutting up the audio, and most of those sound effects I recorded. Like the tapping on the phone, the phone texting thing, the tapping on the computer was me, the knife scraping on the wall was me, and then the boot steps, like on the gravel and in the hallway, were some things that I think I downloaded from YouTube. But most of those sound effects were me. I think I put some little scrapey marks on my wall here. You know, I wanted to get that authentic knife scraping on a wall sound. And then, of course, the rain was an effect that I downloaded. It wound up looping really well, too. Because there was one part, it like kind of trailed off. Like, it started off strong, and then it trailed off towards the end and got less intense. So I just took the part where it was staying strong, and then just cut that up and copy-pasted it all throughout the thing. And it just worked so fucking well. Like, I got done, I put all of the sound effects in the proper order, and I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this one more time, make sure all the levels are right, that I can hear everything, and then I'm going to go look for music to put in this, and try and get the right music. And then I listened to it once, and I was just like, I don't think it fucking needs it, man. Like, I love Muji and Kevin MacLeod, but I didn't need their help this time. I wish all stories and narrations could be that good, where it could just be the story, you know, and like the audio drama can be put across like an audio drama, and you don't have to have music in the background. And it's just, oh god, it still like brings chills down my spine. It sounds so fucking good. It sounds almost like it was produced by a professional studio. Matter of fact, I've heard things produced by professional studios that sound worse than that. So, you know, if there's a professional studio out there looking for a sound engineer, and you happen across this podcast, go listen to my Annie 96's typing video, and tell me you don't want to fucking hire me. But anyway, my way overinflated ego aside, yeah, it's just been hell. I haven't had a lot of time to work on stuff. It's been mostly at night after I get home from work, and I'm fucking exhausted anyway. I'm almost done with the Greek mythology thing. I have to record a couple of things. I'm gonna try and do that later tonight if I don't get too sloshed recording the podcast. Which I shouldn't be drinking while I'm voice acting, because it dries out your vocal cords. But that's not really voice acting, that's just kind of me reading in this voice right here and getting about this far away from the microphone so everything is really clear, and the only worry that I have is modulating my breath and my mouth noises and making sure that everything is really clear and you don't hear any breathing and stuff like that. Because it's a point of professionalism to me, man. Like I told y'all, I got an Audible account, right? And I've been listening to some audiobooks because I bought some like on Kindle, and then I went and looked for a couple that I wanted. And the amount of breaths, like the breath thing just kills it for me. Like mouth noises, not so much. Mouth noises aren't so bad as long as they're kept to a minimum, you know what I mean? And there's going to be a lot of them in this podcast probably, as usual. Because I'm not really, like, trying to modulate my mouth and control my muscles and shit like that, and there's a lot more work and thought that goes into this kind of shit than people think. But, the breathing just kills me. Like, you'll have somebody reading this dialogue or this piece of prose, and then there'll be that little, you know what I mean? That... where they inhale sharply to keep reading and go on with the shit, and it breaks the flow, and I don't know. It sounds like natural talking, because that's what natural talking sounds like, but I just prefer it if you just edit the breaths out, and it takes a lot longer, but the end product is so much nicer. So much nicer. So that's going to be hopefully going up in a little while. I just have to get the credits done for that and turn them into the guy. Hopefully I can get that done tonight at some point, which is Thursday night for me. Because like I say, I record this on the back end, so I have time to edit, because I hate it. I hate it when people like record much as I like Aaron Clary's stuff, listening to his podcast is a chore sometimes, because he just records the whole thing. I don't think he even does like noise removal or like EQ or anything to it. He just like kind of records it and then, you know, edits it out, or exports it and then uploads it. Boom, done. You know, it's fucking over. Which, if I wasn't so ashamed of how many pauses I make and how many times I fuck up when I'm talking, and all the other stupid shit that I do, all of the ums and ahs and stuff like repeating words over and over and over and over and over again. I would do the exact same thing, but I'm way, way too vain for that kind of shit. But on the bright side, after this whole thing, and it's really, like, not even gonna take me 20 minutes to get done with this one audiobook. The other audiobook that I'm working on is awesome! And this freaks me the fuck out. So I gotta tell you guys about it. And I don't think that the guy's gonna mind, because I talked to him about cross-promotion on the YouTube channel, and he was all for it. The way that the thing worked is I turned in my audition, and the guy really liked it, but he asked me to speed it up a little. So I did that, and I started putting on voices for the different characters. The way it works is you have to audition, then after you audition, you have to produce the first 15 minutes and upload that, and then once that gets rights holder approval, you can go on and make the rest of the audiobook. I uploaded my first 15 minutes, and the dude absolutely blew his top. He fucking loved it. Because I'm really, like, flexing my voice acting muscles in this one, and that's why it's such a fun project to me. Putting on voices for women, I only really know how to do 2 female voices, and they don't even sound like women, they just sound like a dude trying to sound like a woman. which is what it is, so I guess that's fair. But I mean, like, every time I listen to an audiobook or something where a guy's reading and, like, women's lines come up, it never sounds like a woman, it sounds like a guy pretending to be a woman for the purposes of differentiating the characters, which is kind of what I was going for anyway, because I'm like, you guys hear my voice. I drink and smoke way too fucking much to be able to put on a woman's voice. So the best I can do is something like this. Or something like this. You know, that's about the extent of me trying to voice females. that's about as much as you're gonna get from me. But you know, I'm trying out different voices on different characters and stuff like that, and they just kind of pop into my head, and I just kind of run with it and see how it goes, and it seems to be working out all right. He seemed to fucking like it. Hang on, let me go to my Gmail account and I'll post the thing. But the thing that really freaked me out is I got an email from this guy. I gave him my email address so that he could send me the revised manuscript for the book that he wants me to read. And let's see, he gave me the Dropbox link, and yeah, the Dropbox for the audio sample thing, which I guess I'll email and see if he minds me putting this up on my channel, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if he's going to want me to wait or if he doesn't want me to do it, whatever. But it's going to be my real name is up there, and, you know, my YouTube channel and everything. He plugged my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna plug his shit. It's called The Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles, and the book that I'm going to be reading is number 7 in the series. So I'm going to go out and pick up, like, the other 4. I think the rest of them have audiobooks, except for 6, 7, and 8. And the guy liked my first 15 minutes for this so much that he wants me to do 6. Like, he offered it to a professional studio, apparently, and they were busy. The guy that he wanted to do the book wasn't able to do it. He had something else going on. So he was just like, well, you know, are you doing anything? Because I need somebody to do this. Do you want to do it? And I was like, fuck yes. Abso-fucking-lutely. You know, it's not like I've got people throwing audio work on my doorstep every morning. I would absolutely love to do more books in this series. And it's actually really good writing, and it's science fiction. It's fun. The characters are really unique. It's like just that straight action adventure sci-fi shit. It's like Star Trek or Babylon 5 or Farscape or something like that. Like, it really puts me in mind of Farscape. Not necessarily because the worlds are similar or anything like that, or maybe Firefly, but it's kind of like a mixture between Firefly, Farscape, and Star Trek, because they kind of work for the government. I'm not going to give too much away. They kind of work for the government, but the government's fucked up, and they're trying to fix it, and they have to kind of go outside the law. The book is called The Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles number 7, Renegades. And that's the one that I'm doing right now, and it's really awesome. So go check out this guy's stuff. I'll get in touch with him about putting up the first 15 or whatever, the audio sample on my YouTube channel. And if that goes through, then it'll probably be up sometime within the week. But I'll put links to all of this stuff down in the description. You know, everything that you can get a hold of. I think the books are on Kindle, and hang on, let me go to Audible right quick and see if they have audiobooks of the other ones, because if they have them, I might pick up, like, the first one. Because it's really good shit, but the one that I'm at, like I say, it's number 7 in the series, and it's like 300 years after the first book. And the main character's like an android or a cyborg or something like that. And I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I'm just kind of like... It was like when I first got into Warhammer 40k. It was one of those sink or swim moments. Like, I just got thrown into the deep end. And if I got dragged down to the bottom, then, you know, oh fucking well. Let me see here. Okay, they do have these on Audible. let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they have the first 5 up on Audible. So I guess I'm going to be doing at least 7, probably 8, and maybe 6, depending. We'll have to see how this works out. I got a month to get this shit together, and it's only the second day in the month, but I'm already kind of feeling the crunch, so we're going to try and get this done by the end of the month. But I'm really trying to do a good job, but I ran into a problem this week because I got paid my overtime, and basically I got like about $100 worth of overtime, and I just immediately went out and bought a microphone. A better microphone. I was talking to Dimension Bucket about it, and he was like, yeah, there's this microphone it's like really, really fucking good. Like, audio engineers and shit swear by this thing, but it's in your price range, so don't let the price fool you. So I was like, all right, I'll try it out, because it's not that bad. It's like a $70 microphone, which is pretty fucking cheap if you're really, like, if you really want to get into it. Like, most microphones that are actually decent quality are over $200. So, I mean, this snowball has served me well, but quite frankly, it's an inferior piece of equipment. And I am trying to get up to professional level. And maybe one day I'll be able to afford one of those, like, $1,000 microphones that's, you know, looks like something out of a fucking sci-fi movie. Like, you could point this thing at someone and shoot a laser at them with it. We'll have to see. That's way in the future. For now, I'm just trying to do what I can with what I have. But I'm really, really excited about this project for one other reason. Another thing that he sent me in this, because we were talking about pronunciation, and there's this species called hellish, and it's spelled Heshe, right? So I thought it was Heshy, because why wouldn't it be? Well, apparently it wouldn't be, because that's not the way that he wrote it, which is fine. Hey, I'm not the fucking writer here. You know, I'm just the guy doing the audiobook. So, you know, he sent me this YouTube video, and it was like bringing the Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles to life. And I was like, all right, I'll check this out. Maybe this is like advertisements for the audiobooks or something. Nope. This thing's getting a fucking TV show, y'all. Like, I'll put that down in the description. It's actually up on the author's YouTube channel. His name is Andrew Beery. Yes. He does have an awesome name. But he seems like a good guy, and he likes to, you know, joke around and have fun and shit like that. So I'm really looking forward to this project. I'm really looking forward to doing more work for this guy. He said he was going to be putting out way more of these books. Like, this isn't anywhere near the ending of this series, apparently. So it's getting more books, it's getting a fucking TV show, and now me, some dumb fuck douchebag from South Carolina who started up a YouTube channel 3 years ago and worked on it off and on because he liked telling scary stories to people and not shutting up about his opinions, is producing professional audiobooks for what might turn out to be the next Farscape. It's fucking mind-blowing to me that I just accidentally fell into this. Like, I was just looking over ACX one day, and I was like, all right, let's see what I can put out auditions for, because I gotta get started somewhere, so let's just go pick 3 books and put out 3 auditions, and we'll see where it fucking goes. And this was one of the books, and I accidentally stumbled into God only knows what. It's fucking nuts. I cannot believe my luck. Which goes to show, kids, you never know what you're going to find unless you go there and look for it. You know what I mean? And don't let anybody... This is something that really actually bothers me about the way that we bring up kids. Hang on. Had to light a cigarette. This is something that really bothers me about the way that we bring up kids, right? Like, we tell kids, in high school, like Daria actually did a point on that. If you remember Daria, the old TV show that was on MTV for a while, the cartoon about the girl with glasses, and it was just God, it was one of the best shows ever. Just Daria was fucking amazing. If you've never watched Daria, go watch Daria. This is not if and or but. This is required viewing. You have to go watch Daria. You. Yes, I'm talking to you, Ted. You. Go watch Daria. But we expect kids to know what they want to do by their, senior year in high school. You know what I mean? We expect these kids at 18 to know what they want to do with the rest of their lives, and then go to college or a trade school or something like that and fucking do it. When I was in high school, I thought college was a fucking scam. And I went and worked construction because I was like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to get a trade. And then I fucked up and I fell into the lie that college is actually worth something. And then that didn't pan out for various reasons that I'm not going to get into here. And, I mean, I thought I was going to be, like, a religious sociology professor. Like a social scientist that was breaking down how religion affects mankind and how we interact with it and shit like that. And that stuff's really interesting to me. That's what I wanted to do when I went into college. But while I was in college, I found the whole creepypasta thing, and I was like, this looks fun. I'm gonna fucking try this out. So I started recording these videos, and it turned out to be really fucking fun. And now I'm staring down the barrel of doing this professionally. This is my career, is doing audiobooks and narrations and things like that. I never saw this fucking coming. If you had come to me when I was 18 and told me, hey, in 10 years, you're going to be professionally producing audiobooks for a sci-fi series that's getting its own fucking TV show, I would have laughed at you. I would have slapped the piss out you and then gone and, smoked a blunt or something. It wouldn't have made any sense to me. I would have never envisioned myself doing something like that. But looking at it right now, there's nothing I'd rather be doing than this. Like, my day job is startup money. If I can get my equipment straight, if I can start making good money on these audiobooks within a year or two, then fuck that job. I'm just going to be doing this full time, and there's nothing more that I want to do. Like, before, when I was just doing it as a hobby, and I was like, okay, no, this is just going to be a hobby, this is fine. I didn't really have much motivation to do it, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't something that was important to me. It was just something that I did for fun. But now that I've actually started taking this seriously, I'm not getting tired of this, guys. I'm angry at myself. When Annie 96's typing was supposed to go up Wednesday morning, right? My alarm didn't go off. And I had to be up at 6:30 so I could be at work at 8:45 to open the place up, right? I completely forgot to make the video public before I left for work in the morning, which I should have done if I had any goddamn sense. And then I got home and I was so fucking tired. I just started playing War for the Overworld, I think, which is an awesome game. I've been enjoying the hell out of that one. I haven't got to play it much. Maybe 2.5 hours or something like that. But it's really good so far. It's just like Dungeon Keeper. Just like Dungeon Keeper. This is, quote unquote, the spiritual successor for Dungeon Keeper. But really, they just kind of cut and paste the whole thing. But, I was so fucking angry at myself when I quit doing Dungeon Keeper or War for the Overworld. And then I realized that I hadn't uploaded the video. I hadn't made the video public. I was just, and it was already technically Thursday morning. I was so fucking mad at myself. So then I just, fuck it, just unprivate the video. Here it is. God damn it. You know? And then, pushing myself and setting goals for myself and trying to perfect my craft. I have a friend, right? I think I've told y'all about him before. I've known this guy my entire life. We've been friends for almost 20 years. He moved half a state away, but we still talk, and we're planning on getting together and getting some beers or something, watching some Stargate, I guess. But he got really into kung fu for about 2 or 3 years there. And he didn't just get into like the physical shit. He got into the philosophy. And one of the things that he told me about kung fu that really stuck with me is whatever you love to do, whatever you apply yourself towards, that's your kung fu. Whatever you strive to get better in, whatever you are attempting to master is your kung fu. And this audio shit has become my kung fu. It helps me relax. It makes me feel good. I can tell when I'm getting better. Like, once again, if you had taken me from 3 years ago and shown me that Annie 96's typing video that I did and said, this is going to be you in like 3 or 4 years, I would have laughed in your fucking face. There's no way I'm ever going to produce shit that good. But, you know, how? But it's all about practice, 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 and perfecting your technique. And that's what I've been trying to do here. And I'm sorry that this podcast has kind of just been like centered on what's going on in my headspace right now. But this is so fucking weird to me that this is the turn that my life has taken, that I just kind of have to rant about this for a minute. I just kind of have to get this out. It's fucking with me. And I haven't had time to actually sit down with my friends in like a Skype call or something like that and just talk this shit out. So, unfortunately, you guys are going to get the brunt of that. But yeah, man, it's fucking wild. It's mind-blowing. You know, and I can easily say that this is what I want to do for the rest of my fucking life. You know, I want to become a voice actor. I don't even care if I get famous. I just want to do this. I just love doing this. This is my favorite thing to do. You know, this and drink. Oh, God. So, yeah, with another turn, I've been listening to more audiobooks because, like, I really did just stop listening to the talk radio shit. Like, I don't fucking care anymore. I don't have time to care, and I don't have brain space to devote to that kind of shit at the moment. You know, maybe if I wasn't working technically 3 jobs, then I would have time for the political shit, but I just don't fucking care anymore. So I'll let, like, the podcast, like Clark's World, Pseudopod, all of that shit build up in my cell phone to where I've just got, like, I don't know, a good probably 6 or 8 hours of stories there where I could just sit down and just listen to, like, just pick the top one and just let it ride until the bottom of the list. And then I'll do that for a day at work. Like, I'll just chill out. Well, not chill out because I'm fucking working, but I'll just be listening to different stories and shit like that. But on the other days, I've been listening to audiobooks to kind of find out, you know, how other people do it and kind of refine my craft and basically find a way to get better than these guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily view people as competition. I mean, I do because it's not exactly a competitive industry, but they are still competition. But I view them more as targets. Like, I want to be better than that guy. I want to be better than that chick. I want to be better than them. You know, and I'm going to work until I'm better than them. And, you know, I've just been thinking about it a lot and listening to a lot of these people. I am better than a lot of them. And it's weird. It freaks me out that some stupid kid from bumfuck nowhere, South Carolina, is doing audio better than professionals. You know? Like, and big hand to Dimension Bucket. Dimension Bucket got accepted on the list of voice actors for escape artists, which are the guys who do Pseudopod, Escape Pod, and Podcastle. So if you listen to those, within like 2 months, 3 months or so, you're probably going to hear Dimension Bucket reading one of their stories. So, go subscribe to those podcasts. I mean, they're great podcasts anyway. You should subscribe to them anyway because they release consistently good material. I have only heard, I think, no, was that on Lightspeed or was that on... It was a story called The Box Wife. That was one that I couldn't listen to. I don't remember if that was on Pseudopod or Drabblecast or what. But, yeah. Dimension Bucket's actually technically working for those guys now. So he's going to be doing voice work for them in the future. So tune in for those podcasts and keep an eye out for Dimension Bucket. He's an amazing narrator and a brilliant fucking audio engineer. It's just, like, that dude's a fucking wizard, like I've said before. So... yeah, really, really happy. Congratulations, Dimension Bucket, on that shit. That's really fucking exciting. I'm about to do some submissions for them as well. I think it goes through like Podcastle is where they get their narration submissions, which is fine. Jesus Christ, my cat is going to kill herself one day. She's now apparently figured out that she can jump from my dresser all the way, halfway across the fucking room to the top of my little audio box tent thing. My little slave tent. But anyway, yeah, I've been listening to these audiobooks, and, like, I found out that I'm a better voice actor than Samwise Gamgee. Wait, I think his name is Sean Astin, or something like that. Let me look that up, because I don't want to give you guys wrong information. Let me see here. Mikey Walsh. Yeah. Holy shit, he was in the Goonies. I didn't know that. Yeah, but he was Sam in Lord of the Rings. And I finally started listening to that R.A. Salvatore Legend of Drizzt thing. And he reads one of the stories about Jarlaxle and Artemis Entreri. And it's a really, really good story about how they get, like, wrangled into basically doing treasure hunting for dragons. It's really fucking funny. Because you don't get to see Artemis Entreri emote a lot. I don't know if you've read the Drizzt books, but Artemis Entreri is this assassin, and for the longest time, for like, I don't know, like 6 or 8 books, he was just the absolute nemesis of Drizzt, and they just, like, butted heads every fucking chance they got. They fought dozens of times. They've never managed to kill each other. And he's usually this, like, stone-faced assassin. Like, I grew up on the hard streets of the desert, and I had to kill to survive, and I never had a childhood, and, I was raped as a kid, and blah, 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 and I killed that motherfucker, and shit like that. So he's just, like, this stone-faced assassin guy who never shows any emotion. And in that one, he's just so exasperated and tired of Jarlaxle's shit, and it's adorable. It's just fucking brilliant. But Sean Astin doesn't try to put on voices for the characters. He just kind of reads the story, and he did a good job. I'm not like knocking the dude's narrator skills. Like, he actually did a good job reading the story. I was entranced. He had a good consistent flow. It was a good reading. But I prefer the stories where, they put some moxie into it, some effort into it. And just at least make an attempt to give the characters some distinguishing features to their voice. Which is what I'm trying to do with the Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles. So I want to listen to books like that so that I can figure out how they're doing it and practice and refine my technique on that. So the Chronicles of Drizzt, I think that's the name of the book. Wait, I have my Audible thing up. Yeah, The Legend of Drizzt, The Collected Stories. It's a really good audiobook so far. Felicia Day isn't that great of a narrator. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of come out and say it. Felicia Day kind of sucks. But it's not really her fault. Because if you're a professional audiobook producer, right? And you see a story that has primarily male characters in it, right? Like, all of the characters are males, right? Hiring a woman to read that story is like, it just doesn't work. Like, the voices that she put on were silly. They weren't scary. Everybody who had a growly voice sounded the same, and I respect her for trying. She did give it the old college try, but it just wasn't that good of a narration. But I really think that if they gave Felicia Day something else, a different story, a story that was more centered on a female character, where she could, or had more female characters in it, where she could kind of let her vocal range show, and didn't have to pretend to sound like this when there's a big monster arguing with itself. It would have suited her a lot better. So I'm not really exactly blaming her for that. She kind of got the shit end of the stick. I'm still waiting for the Weird Al story to come up. But I've gone through like 4 or 5 of the stories so far, and they're all about 45 to an hour long. And it's really good so far. I highly recommend that one. That one is worth the $15, because I think, let me find it. Let me actually find the damn thing so I can tell you how much it costs up front. Should be down here. No, that's Milton Friedman. No, no, wrong. Bad thing. No, that's Exile. There it is. Let me see the store page for this thing. In your library. So you won't tell me the price? That sucks. I think it was like $25 or something like that. Yeah, apparently if you have it in your damn library, they won't give you the price on it. Actually, I could do this. I'll just pull up, because I have 2 browsers. I have Firefox and Chrome. So what we're going to do is we are going to get rid of that and hit paste and go. And there we are. Yeah, it's $25 regular price. Like, you can just go on to Audible and buy it without having an account or anything like that. It's $25 regular price, or you can pay the $15 or so for a gold membership and basically pay $15 for this book, and then you get like a 30% discount on whatever else you want to buy. But I mean, frankly, I don't see how you could say no to stories read by Sean Astin, Ice-T, Al Yankovic, Michael Chiklis, and David Duchovny. I really don't get how you can say no to that. So, wow, I'm about halfway through this. If these go in, because I think they go in. Yeah, the Dan Harmon story was brilliant. I wish I could figure out what. Collected stories. Let me see if I can find. Okay, this might give me the actual stories. Dark Mirror. That was the one. That was the Dan Harmon story. And that one was really good because it's told from Drizzt's perspective. And he finds a goblin that's like him. That's basically like born from a quote-unquote evil race, but is a good creature, like naturally good-tempered and wants to do right by people and things like that. And I'm not going to tell y'all how it ends, because that would kind of defeat the purpose. But it's just, suffice to say, it's a really, really touching story, and it kind of brought a little bit of a tear to my eye. It was really, really good, and what's his name? Dan Harmon did a great job with that. I think Wickless in the Nether is the one that Sean Astin did, and that was that was a really good story. That was the one with Jarlaxle and Artemis getting hired by dragons. That was pretty funny. So yeah, I highly recommend just getting the Audible membership. Just get like the 30-day trial membership or whatever it is, and get that one. If you get any audiobook around, get that one. Highly fucking recommended. Another two that I can recommend, and I recommend these purely because these don't get enough love, man, is John Dies at the End, and This Book is Full of Spiders. Seriously, dude, don't touch it. I really do think that David Wong is one of the best writers of the modern era. I really want to pick up his next book. I think it's called, like, Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits. It sounds pretty interesting. It has nothing to do with Dave and John from his other two books, because the second one, This Book is Full of Spiders, kind of ended it. Kind of. Like, there's potential for another book there if he ever wants to go back to the series. But the way it ended, it kind of felt like okay, this is the closing of the book here, and we might not touch this again. But John Dies at the End is a great book, and the audiobook is really good too. Because the guy does voices, and there's like minimal breaths and hardly any fucking mouth noises, and he has this really great flow and a really, really good voice. I was super duper impressed with the audiobook for John Dies at the End. Same with This Book is Full of Spiders. It was two different voice actors who did them, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe he was dissatisfied with the way the guy did John Dies at the End, which I don't know why it would be, but yeah, they both did a really good job. And like that guy, the guy who did This Book is Full of Spiders, like that guy is a top-notch voice actor, man. Like that guy is what I fucking aspire to be. Like, he was going through a voice like this for David, which was just kind of close to his regular speaking voice. And then he had this like almost surfer voice kind of thing for John. And then he had this really high voice, but it sounded natural for Amy. And he even did a Mexican accent for one of the characters. But it didn't sound like a fake Mexican accent like I'm doing right now. It sounded natural. And he was switching back and forth between these accents like it was just something to do. Like he was playing fucking hopscotch. And I was so goddamn impressed with that. So, and they're cheap too. I think John Dies at the End is like $10. This Book is Full of Spiders is like $13.50. Buy those. And if you need any kind of incentive for this, go look up the movie for John Dies at the End. It's by Don Coscarelli. Yes, that Don Coscarelli. Let me make sure that I've got the right guy, because I don't want to... I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who did Phantasm. Yeah. Don Coscarelli is the guy who did Phantasm. He did Beastmaster. He did Bubba Hotep, if you've ever seen that movie, where Bruce Campbell plays Elvis. And I want to say Morgan Freeman plays Black JFK. Ossie Davis is the guy. It's been years since because Bubba Hotep is like a depressing movie. It's really sad. It's like a horror comedy, but at the same time, it's this really sad movie. And looking back on it, yeah, that has like the telltale signs of being a fucking Coscarelli movie. But yeah, if you've ever seen Phantasm, which if you haven't seen the Phantasm movies, go see the Phantasm movies. I'm just giving y'all all kinds of recommendations today. But yeah, he did the screenplay for John Dies at the End, and he did he kind of directed it. He directed the movie and he wrote the screenplay. He adapted it for the screen. I'm pretty sure he worked with David Wong really closely. But it's just, like, okay, this exchange right here, this made me break down laughing so fucking hard that I had to pause the fucking book and just, like, almost sit down on the floor in the middle of the warehouse, just dying laughing because of this exchange right here. Long story short, a cop got infected with a parasite from another world, and he was chasing David and John around trying to kill them. And he got back to David's house, and he was putting dead turkeys in his bedroom to feed the oncoming swarm. And they wound up killing him with a chainsaw. And Dave was naked because he was about to get in the shower when he got jumped. And he runs out into this, like, onto his porch with the dead cop's severed head covering his dick. And the cop comes back. Not the dead cop, another cop. Like Detective Falconer, I think is his name. And he just sees him like that, like covered in blood with this dead guy's head, butt-ass naked, holding his head over his dick to, like, cover his junk. And he gets him back inside. And he's just gonna arrest him because he thinks they're fucking crazy, and they started this whole thing, and they killed all these people and shit like that, and obviously they killed the cop. And the cop just looks at him and goes, "And put some pants on, for God's sake." To which Dave says, oh, and by the way, he was on a little bit of meth. He had taken some amphetamines before that. But the cop says, "Put some pants on, for God's sake." And then David says, "Fuck you! This is my house! I make the rules! You get naked! John, get the twister mat!" I fucking broke down, guys. I died laughing, like, the deadpan way. And then the kicker, the little punchline was, "Are you high? A little?" Like, the guy just sounded so nervous, and, like, he can't believe what just came out of his own fucking mouth. It just, and then there are the little moments in this novel are what really, really fucking make it. And this stuff is from This Book is Full of Spiders. So you're gonna have to read John Dies at the End first. The movie actually does I just recently watched the movie last night. But, the movie does stay pretty close to the book, like, really, like, stupidly close. Like, the dog in the book is named Molly. In the movie, he's called Bark Lee. They completely got rid of the character Big Jim Sullivan for the movie. Like, they just kind of took him out. There's a couple of other characters they got rid of. They merged the characters of Amy and Jennifer Lopez. Not the actress. Just a local girl of the same name in Undisclosed. But it's a really, really, really faithful adaptation. Like, you can tell he really loved the fucking source material and wanted to present this on the silver screen as accurately as possible to the book. So I highly recommend looking up the movie. The movie's great. The movie's what got me into this series. Get the audiobook. I think it's on Kindle. I don't fucking know. I know I have both of the books. I have the first one in paperback and the second one in hardback. And now I have both of the audiobooks. And that shit is bomb as fuck. But the little moments that you never see coming, that you just never expect anybody to say. Like, they're in quarantine, and Dave's been talking with this black guy, and they're trying to escape quarantine. And they're talking to this old white guy who you don't really, like, I think they mentioned his name was Ed or something like that before this. And he's just, like, you know, standing there waiting for them to ask him a question. And then the black guy looks at Ed and goes, "Well, Ed, where does this tunnel go?" And Ed just deadpans, "Well, nigger, it used to go over into the..." And you just, like, what the fuck did he really just fucking say that? And the black guy is completely unfucking fazed by it. He's just like, yeah, I think Racist Ed is right. And that's just the guy's name. He's called Racist Ed. And he's talking about how they used to, like, have big, strong Negroes pulling pulleys to get people through the steam pipes and shit like that when maintenance had to be done. And he keeps calling the dude shit like nigger and porch monkey. And you can tell that everybody fucking hates this guy, but nobody really wants to do anything about it because they're in quarantine and they gotta stick together and shit like that. It's just, it's so fucking weird how this book deadpans shit like that. Just like slaps you across the face with like a dead fish. And then just acts like it never fucking happened. Just none of it ever happened, but fuck it. We're done here. No, move along. No, you don't get to comment on that. Move along. Events are moving along. You have to move along with them. We don't live in the past here. That's just the whole attitude of this book. It just gets progressively fucking crazier and crazier and crazier until we just reach complete insane land. Just loonbagia. It's just absolutely brilliant books. So I highly recommend picking those up. It's really, really good shit. And the movie, of course. Anything by Don Coscarelli is gold, guys. Go look up Don Coscarelli. Any of his movies. Let's see, which ones of these have I seen? I don't think I've seen The Beastmaster. I know I've seen all of the Phantasm movies, except for the new one. They're making a new one, Ravager. It's coming out this year. And he's just producer and co-writer on that one. So he's kind of, I guess, like, basically, like, Angus Scrimm died. Angus Scrimm is the tall man. The boy! You know, if you've ever seen that scene from the original Phantasm movie. But yeah, Angus Scrimm died, and you cannot have a Phantasm movie without Angus Scrimm. You just cannot do it. If you watch John Dies at the end, Angus Scrimm is the priest. Let's be honest, Sonny. We both know you're fucked. That guy. That's Angus Scrimm. Great guy. Brilliant actor. Been around for fucking ever. He was old in the 70s when they started making Phantasm. So I think he just kind of like hung around long enough to finish Phantasm. And then he died right after filming. Let me actually look him up. Angus Scrimm, born Lawrence Rory Guy. Playing the tall man in Phantasm. God damn, this guy's been in fucking all kinds of shit. Mind Warp, Subspecies, The Off Season, I Sell the Dead, Satan Hates You. Yeah, let me see here. He died January 9th. It doesn't say anything about whether they actually finished filming, but I think they probably just, like, filmed out of sequence like they usually do, and just filmed all of his parts, and then, you know, let him kind of get on with what he was doing. But yeah, he died fucking this year in January, and that is disheartening. But he was fucking old. He was born in 26. Like, this dude lived to be fucking 90, man. Like, damn near 90. You know, I think he's earned a little rest. Especially with such good work that he did on, like, the Phantasm movies and John Dies at the End and the rest of his acting and stuff like that. Like, seriously. Go look up the Phantasm movies, man. You just do not get... Horror doesn't get better than Phantasm. It really doesn't. And Reggie is, of course, everyone's favorite character. The only problem with the Phantasm movies is after the first one, because they kept the same actors for all of the parts throughout all of the movies, except for one. Except for one. The kid, the main character in the original Phantasm movie, the kid, the actor, got into a car accident or something like that, but he was put into a coma for years. And Coscarelli didn't know if he was going to wake up. So he just went ahead and filmed the second one and got someone who was older, who kind of looked like the kid, kind of all grown up, to play the kid in the second movie. And it's kind of a shame because the second movie is honestly one of the best ones. Like, the second movie is my favorite. Because that's when Reggie gets his shotty. that nice quadruple barrel shotgun that he fucking knocked up in a hardware store. But yeah, man. He got somebody else to play that guy, and then the dude woke up from his coma and came back for the third movie, but he was all skinny and rail thin because he'd been in a fucking coma for like a decade or something. And they had to, I don't remember how they explained that, or if they even fucking touched on that in the movies. I'm gonna have to watch them again. But yeah, apart from that little discrepancy, Reggie has been Reggie in all of the movies. Angus Scrimm has been the tall man in all of the movies. They even guerrilla shot, I think it was in Lord of the Dead. The third movie. Yeah, Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. They actually guerrilla shot a scene on I want to say LA, where they just set up and blocked off traffic in LA to get this one scene of the tall man walking down the street in LA. I think they just blocked off traffic, set up the cameras, filmed that shit, and then skated fucking left. It's such a good series of movies, guys. If you're into horror, you have to see Phantasm. It's kind of one of those cult movies that, classic horror buffs have seen, but I don't know. I don't really hear a lot of people, except for people who are really into horror movies, talking about Phantasm. Then again, Right Hand of Doom only recently saw The Thing, because I found out that he hadn't, and I sat down and I forced him. I made a Rabbit account just so that we it's rabb.it. It's a simultaneous viewing thing. Someone sets up an account and makes a room and starts playing a thing, like a YouTube video or a video online or just a video on your computer. It's like a screen sharing thing. And you can just watch movies together. And I sat his fucking ass down with, I want to say, Razzle and Wandering Scarecrow. And we just watched The Thing, because they'd never seen it. And I was like, no, you guys are like my best fucking friends. There's no way in hell I'm letting you get away with not watching my favorite horror movie with me. No, I don't care if we're here till 4 in the fucking morning. So that was fun. But yeah, I'm gonna have to find out if they've seen the Phantasm movies, and if they haven't, we might have to take a week off of Pathfinder or something, just so we can sit down and watch these. Because Phantasm is seriously some of the best horror movies of all time. But yeah, Jesus Christ, I could go on about this shit for hours. But to sum up, yeah, check out the shit in the description for the Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles when the Greek mythology thing goes live. I will inform you guys, and if you really want to buy it, then you can. I'm honestly not gonna recommend that anybody buy that one. It's not really good. It's not really a good book. the scholarship is questionable. I just basically kind of did it because he accepted and I need the money. That's basically what that's all about. So I just did as good a job as possible, but I can't, like, I hate the book. I really can't fucking stand it. That was a business decision right there. But I will notify y'all when it is released, so if you feel like it, you can hear me read badly written Greek history and mythology. Like I said, I really wouldn't recommend it. Nobody tell the guy I said that, but but anyway, yeah. So check out the shit for the Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles. That'll all be in the description. I'll put up the Audible and the Amazon links to, like, or I guess I'll just look up the stories, like just the books, and link you guys the search page or whatever. Because they've got all 4 or 5 of the ones that are audiobooks, like, just right there on Audible. I'll have to check for the Amazon stuff. But I'll get in touch with the guy about putting up the first 15 on my YouTube channel, and we'll see what we can do about that. I might be able to do that. I might not. You guys will know by next podcast. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for letting me get this shit off my chest. Don't forget to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we're on iTunes now, and I have a Twitter that I don't use, and a Tumblr that I use infrequently, because I'm just so busy with other shit. I'll take a couple hours out of the day and just decompress and just scroll Tumblr and, like, I don't know, look at porn and funny GIFs and memes and shit, and then pass out. But yes, look up Phantasm. John dies at the end. Get the books and the audiobooks, and this book is full of spiders. Seriously, dude, don't touch it. David Wong is a master writer. He's amazing. Go buy all his shit. And no, I'm not getting paid for that. I just really like the guy's work, and I think you will too. So, yeah, go check out all of that shit. It'll be in the description if I fucking remember. And I will catch y'all next week. Thanks for listening, everybody. Peace out.